All right. So tonight we have a Q&A session. And now if you all have any questions later on, because tonight also we do not have many questions, only about 2 or 3 questions. And if you have any questions, you can type it down on the chat session or in the maybe in the comments in the Facebook there. So we'll see. If you have also any verbal questions also, then you can, if you want to ask, then you kind of like press the raise button, raise arm hand, if you know where to find them. Okay, now, say we go for the first questions. First question. Okay, good evening, Bante. Yesterday, I took part in the metta meditation online retreat. First, I developed metta for myself, and the second, for the respected ones, namely my teachers. Is it okay to radiate metta for male teachers? Number 2, I meditate on metta gradually like chanting. Is that okay? And can my teachers feel the metta from me? The word me here, I put in bracket because in the question, there was no me there. It's just only you stop from the from, So I guess that is from the word me, if I read the question correctly. All right, let's go to number 1. So it's good that you took part in the online meditation retreat. Now, in the online meditation retreat nowadays, of course, if you want to do the online meditation retreat, you got to be disciplined enough. Disciplined enough in the sense that you have to keep all your other commitments, all other responsibility, even your work or your career, you have to put aside for a while. Even the household responsibility, if you can able to put it aside, that would be very good for you to do any form of online retreat. But if you're doing meditation online retreat at home, then of course when you are at home, you are physically seen by other members of your family. Then if they see you, that means that the expectation is there whether you are doing online retreat or not. They don't care. They just sort of like you are there, means that kind of like you have certain responsibility. Unless your family members are very deep into meditation also, then only they able to sort of realize. But even when you are doing online meditation retreat, when you are at home, somehow or another, you feel responsible that you need to do something for the family or for this or that, So that's why online meditation retreat, although it's better than nothing, but it will not be fully effective like in the actual retreat. But now, in the meantime, what can we do? Then we can do online retreat somehow, one way or another. Okay, or listen to Dhamma talks, or do a bit of dana here and there. All right. So you're doing a metta meditation retreat. First, I developed metta for myself, and the second for the respected ones. Okay, good, wonderful. Namely, my teachers. Is it okay to radiate metta for male teachers? Now, it's not a problem. It's not a problem that it's not no problem at all when you radiate to somebody that you have a certain degree of respect. When you have that degree of the degree of respect, whether it's a male teacher or a female teacher, then when there's a certain degree of veneration, respect, then it's very good, because that respect or veneration, it becomes the forefront. You radiate metta because of they have that certain quality. You remember of that there are certain quality which is you find that it's wholesome to you. You find that it is connected to you through Dhamma or through any form of worldly ways. And then when you radiate the metta to them or to the male teachers or female teachers, even in this case, then it's perfectly all right. It's perfectly all right. And it's good that if you can able to radiate the metta and you can able to sustain the metta towards the teacher that you having that degree of respect, then it's perfectly all right. Yeah? Because this time as I said, the veneration, the homage, the respect is the forefront of your radiating your metta or suffusing the metta. Now, what is not okay is that if you have certain degree of central desire to a male person, it may be a husband or may it be boyfriend or anything, a partner, those it is not good to start in the beginning. It's not good to start in the beginning because that the front right now is the person that you have a certain desire towards. And then when you have that certain desire towards the person, if you put it in the beginning of your practice, then instead of metta arises, then it will arises the near enemy of metta, which is the sensual desire or which is the lust. So we don't encourage yogis metta, especially when you do metta or even karuna or mudita. We don't encourage you to do male person which you have a relationship to, or even you have a close connected to, even sometimes maybe like even like parents also. Sometimes there are some children and parents, they have a very strong, deep relationship. And then when we do a metta for them or karuna for them, then instead of having this metta or loving kindness or compassion, then it may turn into again that you become like sad for them. If it's the case of compassion, you look at them, oh, they are getting old, oh, they have this sickness and so on. Then because of your attachment towards them, then instead of you generate the compassion that may they be free from all their suffering, then instead of wishing them free from all the suffering, then it turns into sadness. It turns into grief, and that is not compassion anymore. That is corruption. That is the near enemy of compassion or karuna. So, because why? Because as the front there is there is a sensual connection towards them. So if those people that you have a sensual connection to, then it is not advisable for you to start off with those metta or karuna or mudita, because of the attachment arises after that. So for the male teachers, as I said, they are, again here, they are, because the front there is the respect, is the veneration, is the homage, then it's not the sensual desire, then it is perfectly all right. But the metta, later on when you advance the metta towards into a deeper aspect of the metta, then if your metta is much more continuous, stable, and is not affected by the hindrances That means your metta is strong, it's clear. And then that time, you have to generate the metta towards even for the person that you dislike or you hate, and also towards the person that you have attached or connection to, even like your husband or your partner or even your parents or children or whoever they are. You have to finally have to generate to all of them. Then when you generate the metta to all of them, that metta also is the similar strength like when you generate to your teachers or generate to not towards this group of people or like hate that people that you hate or people have an attachment to. If those if the later on when your metta is strong, as I said, this group of people must able to generate the same amount of metta, the same strength of the metta, as if like when you do it for your teachers also. That means right now, when you can able to do that, then only then the metta is in a way unconditioned. It's a way unconditioned. Then you have to, not only that, you have to generate to all beings and so on. So metta finally has to be unconditioned. It has to be perfectly well developed, well rounded. So this is something that we have to remember, because here, as I said, the male teachers, then it is possible for us to do that. Okay. Now, I meditate on metta gradually, like chanting. Is that okay? Not a problem. If you want to do it like chanting or as if or chanting itself, then here you must able to mean or you must able to understand what you've been chanting, and also you must truly mean it. Sometimes people understand the meaning of the chanting in, let's say, in English, but they don't really mean it. The heart doesn't really touch the words, or the words doesn't really touch the heart. So you must able, as long as you can able, your heart can able to touch the words, or the words can touch your heart, whichever way, then it is perfectly all right for the metta to grow. Here in the chanting, if you are doing a chanting, then sometimes the chanting can be quite long. In the beginning part of the development of metta, if you do the chanting, then it's perfectly all right. Whichever chanting or whichever metta chanting that you want to do, it's perfectly all right. Here, the nature of the chanting also to help us in the beginning part is to help us to pull the mind back to the present. Present here is the chanting. So the mind does not go into all kinds of thinking, which is important. Now, when we do this chanting, we mean it and we understand it and we have faith in it. Therefore, the heart of metta will slowly grow. And it will slowly grow little bit by little bit. But when your metta can able to grow further, then you have to reduce the chanting. You reduce the chanting, or you reduce those chanting into a certain line in order for the mind, for the metta to flow further. If you drag on too long because it's a chanting, you need to finish the chanting, then your mind, you have to force yourself just to finish that chanting. Then the time you're going to shake the metta, you're going to stop radiating the metta because of the mind wants to finish the chanting. So if you find that later on with the chanting, then if you want to reduce it, then it's perfectly all right, until slowly and slowly your mind becomes calm down, and then the metta can flow further and further. You see, in the development of this metta, it's about from more complex words that you use, then finally it's become more simple and simple and simple. And right at that moment, you can actually also reduce and remove all those words. Only the metta is flowing only. Only the metta is truly flowing from your heart to whoever or whomever or whichever group that you are connected to, or you are radiating to. You see, those chanting and the words that we use, it's like when you're doing, just like when you're doing vipassana, it's just those words chanting are labeling only. It's a kind of labeling that finally is to bring about the nature of metta. So just like vipassana also, when your mind is much more sharper, things you can able to note better, then we ask you to stop the labeling and keep on noting. So to the metta also the same thing, that when your metta able to flow further, then those words that you said, may I be free from harm and danger, or may they be free from harm and danger, or may he or may she be free from harm and danger, you slowly and remove them until you can feel that your heart is able to flow. Now, if you find that your heart cannot flow, after a flow for a while, then hindrances starts coming in. Then again, we bring back the lines again, or those lines again, to help us to settle the mind onto the metta. Then we do it again and again, to and fro in this way, until the mind able to settle down onto the metta for a longer and longer period of time. During this time, this is what we call the learning sign, because in metta, they don't have a counterpart sign like what we learned in the past. Yeah? They don't have a counterpart sign. Then with that, as the hindrances getting removed, the metta becomes flow very smoothly. You train on those things until when you're ready for the jhana. Yeah? So you can do those things. Yeah? So back to your question again. So can you do the metta gradually like chanting? Yes, perfectly all right. As long as it does not disturb your mind too much, and also the metta can flow further. Okay? The thing is, the next question on number 2 is that, and can my teachers feel the metta from me? Now, this one is not necessary for you to worry about whether they can feel the metta from you or not. Because this is one of the things that we don't realize that we are putting an expectation in metta. We are putting a certain degree of expectation in metta. Because there are times I've heard in the past, even I read also, then when it says that, when that monk do metta, or if you sit beside him, you can feel so nice, the vibes. Very good. That means that you already, whether it's you are doing, or whether the person is the monk or whoever the person is doing, then you kind of like you're expecting something is happening from the metta. You're expecting something happening from the metta without us realizing it. So here the thing is that you don't worry about whether the teachers or whether the beings can feel your metta or not. That is not for you to worry about that. If they can feel, let them be. If they cannot feel, let them be also. If you don't have to feel about those things. Sometimes in the past also, it says that, if the group of people do the metta here, and then halfway around the world, let's say in US, they want to touch upon the beings just to free them from whatever suffering that they are going through and so on. You know? We wish them well, we wish them all kinds of everything. But again, here, you must not put an expectation into it. If you put an expectation into it, that means that expectation is another name for craving. But this is not a sensual craving, sensual desire, but this is a mental craving, which is not connected with desire. You expect a metta to do something, to happen. You know? Now, when we are, if you ask me whether it is wrong or not, I can't say that it is wrong, but I cannot say that it is right. Because after all, you're doing metta too, you know. And in a way, the metta, it's wonderful, but because it's tainted with a little bit of craving, then that also we have to acknowledge. That also we have to, we have to point it out there. Because a lot of times we don't realize that these things, it's happening inside us. Now take for example again, sometimes I hear of people, you go into like monks or nuns, they go into jungle, then they walk around and then they say, may all beings be free from harm and danger. Be free from harm and danger. May all beings here, may all beings, what I'm going to do here, be free from all kinds of danger. But inside their heart, the expectation is that they put an expectation is that those beings, please don't come and disturb me. Don't come and bite me. Don't the insect make sure you don't come and bite me. The leeches don't come and everything. No? Don't. Or sometimes when you do go to a hotel, also the same thing. You go to a hotel room, then also you radiate metta around here and all that. May all of you be well and happy. Stay in your dimension. Don't come out and kacau me and disturb me during my sleep. Don't pull my leg or whatever. Of course, you may not say all those things out, but your heart, the front is only that you say that may all beings be well and happy around here, but your heart is, you have certain expectation that you don't want all these things to come and disturb you. So it's the same thing. Here, when we radiate metta, we have to be really genuine. We have to be really genuine that we want to share the metta. Even if, let's say, when you go into a certain places or you go into a jungle, then when you radiate metta to them, of course, and if there are certain beings, if they can able to feel your metta, and if they feel that you are not a threat to them, and somehow or another, sometimes they may protect you in their own way. They may protect you. But on your end, on your side, you don't radiate metta just because you want their protection, That is two different things. You can get what I mean? It is two different things, and it is important for us to know how to draw the line. Because this is an exercise of wisdom. Not just metta, but you have to exercise the wisdom in the sense that you must be able to draw the line that when you radiate metta or karuna, you don't expect something from them. You radiate metta for the sake of, because it is wholesome, because you want to do it, then you radiate metta. Because sometimes I hear other teachers teaching. They realize teacher think if you go into this one, you radiate metta, you hopefully that they don't come and disturb you, and so on and so forth. You put a lot of expectation, and when the teachers put this expectation to the devotees cannot differentiate between what is wholesome and what is slightly unwholesome. And you cannot differentiate those things. Then every now and then, when you do this metta, whenever you go to a place when you are feel that, then when you radiate this metta, you expect something. Actually, if you are genuine enough in your metta, let's say you go to a place and you feel certain degree of fear. You feel certain degree of fear. Then when you radiate the metta, if you are genuine enough, the metta is the one that is overcoming the fear. Not overcoming whatever beings out there. No. Sometimes people grab the wrong end of the defilements. They thought that you want to get rid of the beings around you, then you are happy. It's not that. It's that the metta is the one that is overcome the fear. Then when the fear is gone, or you felt that the mental fear is gone, that is where your mind is filled with metta, whether the being is there or not. Whether the being is right in front of you or not in front of you, that is not a problem anymore, because the fear is gone. So because, again, many of us, when we radiate metta, we try to get rid of the external things so that they don't come and harm us, and so on. Like sometimes when you go into this one in the jungle, then you may find that there may be leeches coming over to you, and there are insects biting you. And sometimes devotees, out of ignorance, if they see that these people, you see, they are all bitten by this insect and that insect, and you see this group, another person, it is not bitten by this insect, then you already make the judgment already. That group, that people, not enough metta. That one, more metta. Then because of more metta, then the insect don't come. We already make those judgments already. We already make those judgments because that we already put an expectation of what metta will going to happen if we have that. We do that without realizing it. Without realizing it, and that is not right for us to do. That's why when you ask this question, it is good because I can bring out this area out, because we don't see this point, this area here. We always see that what the metta will do to protect us, to give us well-being, and so on, indirectly, without we realizing it. So next time, when you are in the jungle or when you are in the places that is, you find that there is some fear and so on, then if let's say you are in the jungle and then there are leeches bite you, and there are insects bite you, or the leeches suck your blood and so on, and some of you are so fearful of these little leeches and this little crawling around here and there, so small little thing, but your fear is so big. Some people, every now and then I also see the snake, and that they walk, suddenly the snake come out. I jump, the snake also jump, but immediately my fear all gone. No fear. But doesn't mean that I go near to the snake and then start patting on the back. Not like that. We stay a distance away. We stay a distance away. Keep the mind stable. Keep the mind free from all the fear, and then generate metta, or be mindful, be present, be equanimous. Let the snake or whatever cross first, and then after that we carry on without the fear. After that, a few more steps, I forgot about the snake already. So you see, the thing is that if you are affected by all these insects or leeches or beings and so on, if they still bite you or they still do something onto you, then your mind should able to adapt to the situation. No? If they bite you, they still bite you, then you keep your mind steady. You keep your mind clear. You keep your mind open. You do whatever, you have to put whatever medicine, you have to put whatever, but you do it with mindfulness. You do it with stability of the mind. Then that will be very good for you. Then you adapt according to the situation. Not just as metta, and then hopefully metta will protect you and so on. So this is something that I want to point it out, because this expectation, it's a very subtle expectation. It's a very subtle expectation. Then we don't realize that sometimes we are generating these things. So this is what we can talk about. But of course, in the sutta, when the Buddha able to generate the metta and so on, that one is beyond our level. It is said that the Nalagiri, the drunken elephant, judged on the Buddha, and then the Buddha radiate the metta to, and this is a completely different level. The Buddha has did is the Buddha's level. Then we want to compare our level to the Buddha sometimes. We want to compare, we generate this metta, then all this elephant and all this insect and all these animals won't come and harm us. We are not at that level. That is the Buddha's level. But if your metta is genuine enough, then there are certain protection for you, because they felt that you are not a threat. The beings felt that you are not a threat, or the unseen beings felt that you are not a threat to this place. Because if you're able to generate this metta, and then when you reach to those areas, then they find that they are happy. And they find that they are happy when you are around. And because they are happy when you are around, then in a way, they protect you from harm.